So, how have I been doing on my carnivore diet this week? Very well, actually. I believe that I've only had one misdemeanor, and that was last night. I had 600 ml of full fat milk warmed up with 2 spoons of low carb chocolate in it. It was fine. Didn't seem to adversely affect me. However, I am aware of my personality, and this could very easily be the start of a slippery slope for me. So usually my head goes, well, you had that and it didn't make any difference. Maybe you can have one next week. And then once I've had one next week, I'll be at work and I'll go, oh, it's not going to harm just to have one a day. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to try. I probably will do it again, but I'm going to try and make sure I only do it like once a month or something. The one other thing that I'm having a problem with is eating enough. So I need to eat a considerable amount of beef to get my 120 grams of protein. I've only got a 1 hour window, and to be fair, I don't feel hungry the rest of the day. So if I was going to split it into three meals in the day, I still would be forcing myself to eat. So I got enough food on my plate when I came home yesterday to have 120 grams of protein, and it was in the form of burger pates. I could only manage one with an egg, so I had 3 of them. They were big ones, massive burgers. So I could only manage one of them with the egg on top. And I put the others into a plastic container thinking, well, maybe I'll just nibble on them for the rest of the evening. I never went back to them. I wasn't even craving pork scratchings last night. So that's one thing that I am finding difficult. So if anyone's got any tips for something I can eat that's going to get my protein up, I'll be glad to hear about it. Apparently chicken is very, very good. So if I had that and made sure I had the fat with it, because I don't mind chicken fat. I know some people don't like it. And added some butter, I might be in luck there. But really, I want to try to stick to ruminant animals, and mainly beef, to be fair. So I don't know where chicken's going to come into it, apart from I did buy a free-range chicken from the butchers. I won't be doing that again for a very long time. I mean, I haven't eaten it yet. I don't know what it tastes like. That's not the issue. It cost a flipping fortune. I mean, it was 1/3 of what I would normally pay for all my beef for the week. So that, if it is absolutely delicious, that might be a once a month thing as well. I have lost a tiny bit of weight. I've lost another 2 pounds, which I'm exceedingly happy with. And I guess we best pop upstairs and see how I'm doing with those zebra skin jeans this week. I did have quite a few very helpful comments on my big video that I did about being a menopausal old hag. And some of them were incredibly helpful. Some of them were not very helpful at all. And on some of them, I think that they didn't even watch the video. So just waded in with their opinion. So I'll read you a few of them so that you can see what I mean. One lady says, usually if you hit a plateau, it's usually always dairy. And I definitely found that for me. So I cut out all dairy, apart from that naughty 600 ml of milk that I had last night. That was a great idea. She also says that I could change up my my food that I'm eating, so it doesn't always have to be beef. I've tried to stick with beef, but yeah, it would be nice to change it up a bit. And this lady has suggested fish poultry and eggs. I already eat eggs, so eggs and beef are a major part of my diet. But I think I might try a bit of fish, nice bit of oily fish, or a massive piece of cod. But when I have a massive piece of cod, I always think there's something missing. You're right, it's the batter. But I can eat cod without, just cook it in some foil, put a big bit of butter on it. Nom nom. My mouth's watering actually. There's a really nice lady here who's had really great results on the carnivore diet. Not just the losing the weight, but I'll read it out to you. I'm 61 and have been on the carnivore for 19 months. I lost 45 pounds, met my goal in 6 months. 6 months ago. You have to eat more fat, less protein. Now, this is contentious, really, because some people are saying eat less fat because then your body will eat the fat that you've got. I need a little bit of clarification on that. I've watched quite a few videos, but I think they're 50-50 on it. I ate 80% of my calories from fat, 20% from protein for the first 10 months while I was healing my body of fibromyalgia and a host of other things. I dropped to 70-30 for 6 months. Now I'm sticking with about 65-30 with a few strawberries and avocado. I won't be doing strawberries and avocado. I had to give up all dairy except butter. Dairy makes me inflamed and I gain weight. I eat 1 gram of protein for each pound of ideal body weight. That's what I'm aiming for. Hang on in there. Nothing tastes as good as I feel. Yeah, I like that. This is a weird one. I've gained weight since the carnivore diet, but I feel so much better. Carnivore helped to heal. Now I'm doing a low carb keto approach. Again, I can't do that. Don't focus much on the scale. What matters is your health. Well, this is absolutely true. It's great to be healthy, but it's also great to be the same weight you were when you were 20 years old. And I've seen plenty of people who have done it. That's what I want to do. I am not going to deviate from that path. And to be fair, until I actually start training properly with weights, I am always going to weigh myself, because at the moment I don't have any issue with, oh, I've built muscle and that's heavier than fat, because I don't believe that I am building muscle. So, oh, yeah, we need to get on to that thing about doing the weight training. Oops. People are quite often recommending that I do like a 36 hour water fast. I promise you, I'm building up to that. I'm getting used to this OMAD. Well, actually, to be fair, if I'm not hungry when it's time for me to eat, really, I should just not bother and do at least one 36 hour water fast a week. But you're sort of conditioned that you have to eat every day. I'm conditioned that I have to eat every day. And even though in the past, for about 3 months, I was doing 1 day a week where I didn't eat anything, it's still in there. I'm still indoctrinated that I have to eat every day. And at the moment, I'm not in the right place to not eat, even though I don't feel hungry. But I'm building it up to it, and I will do it. Also, something I think everybody who's investigated the carnivore diet should be aware of by now is eating grass-fed beef. Yeah, some people's budgets don't stretch to that. My budget doesn't stretch to that. So it's butcher's meat for me. More salt was another suggestion. And I must admit, I've not been adding salt, and I have been feeling a little bit crampy in the toes. And occasionally when I go nearer the ground to do something, when I get up I feel a tiny bit lightheaded, nothing major. So I'm trying to add a bit of salt with everything that I eat. I'm also taking electrolytes. Here's another one. Not very helpful. I think it's very simple. Now that your weight is reduced, you need to reduce your intake in order to keep losing weight. What you were eating to lose weight It's just now maintaining your weight. Well, if they'd watched the whole video, they would see that I hadn't really been eating what I needed to eat to lose weight. I've been eating carnivore and then adding a whole load of other stuff, which was clearly going to keep my weight on. So I was maintaining with adding stuff that I shouldn't be eating. So taking away the stuff that I shouldn't have been eating should see some results. And if I've lost £2 this week, I lost £5. I've lost half a stone in 2 weeks. So I'm not unhappy about that. And I don't think that I should be reducing the amount of, say, calories that I'm eating. I think I should be increasing them, because obviously if I'm only eating one burger in a day with an egg on it, I'm definitely not getting enough protein. A couple of people have said about increasing my exercise. Well, I do about 6,000 steps a day at work. I also have to go up a flight of stairs and up and down a flight of stairs to do my work, because I do order picking and processing orders that have been picked. So while I'm order picking, I've got 3 machines that I walk between, and I'm walking between them all day long. Now, when I'm processing what's been picked from these machines, but I also have to go up and down the stairs to pick from downstairs locations which have got much bigger items in, or things that don't fit in the machine. So I'm up and down them stairs all day. Now, instead of taking them, just walking up one at a time, I walk up them 2 at a time every time. So I'm fairly certain that throughout the day, my old leg muscles, hopefully my bum muscles, are getting a little bit of work. So yeah, that's the only exercise that I do, which is more than I would have done if I'd have had just like a desk job or anything. But yeah, absolutely, I do need to start doing some exercise. And my lovely long walk that I did last week, I thoroughly enjoyed that. I'd love to go and do that again, but I've got van curtains to make and I've got rust spots to rub down, so I'm not entirely sure I'm going to have the time this weekend to do that. There's a lady here who says, I started keto 5.5 years ago, dabbled with carnivore, then switched. I'm 60 pounds up. No one can explain it. I've tried every tweak and iteration you can think of. Well, that's no, I've never heard of that either, so I couldn't give any advice on that at all. Another smart aleck. If you aren't losing weight, you eat too much. Try looking into fasting 2 to 3 days at a time. Dry fasting works best. Good luck, you can do it. Dry fasting, does that mean not even any water? Are you mental? That is not going to happen. And I don't know anybody who does it, apart from this person, obviously. But no, I am not going to do a dry fast. Ain't happening. Another one that I'm not too sure about. Your metabolism adapted to carnivore, which is naturally for storing fat for hunger periods. That makes no sense. You need to cut down your calories intake and stick strictly on your carnivore diet. Well, I know I have to stick strictly to my carnivore diet, but literally cutting down the calorie intake, I'm not sure that's the best idea. Keep in mind to eat in moderation and not excessively. No, I don't think that's not any of the information that I've seen. So probably not going to go with that one either. I probably need to up my calorie intake. Another chap says, start walking 5 kilometres a day. I replied, I start walking 5 kilometres every day. I usually manage about 2. Another commenter suggesting 6 drops of 5% Lugol's iodine. Now, I've heard that iodine is a big help. I can't remember the context in which I heard it, but if anybody knows, give me a shout or point me to a video Well, clearly I can use YouTube search. Maybe I'll do that. Another person who I don't think has watched the whole video telling me that I need to cut out all the things that I was having that wasn't carnivore, which was pretty much the point of the video in the first place. Somebody suggesting that carnivore puts stress on your body, so therefore you need to add a small amount of fruit or veggies in line with the keto diet. Well, that's keto. I'm carnivore. It's not going to work for me. Oh, this is a beaut. If you feel this way about carnivore, I think perhaps carnivore is not sustainable for you. You can reach similar results with keto alone, and keto is far easier to maintain. Again, didn't watch the video. I clearly cannot eat keto because I'm a carb addict, and I'll have a little bit of something and then I'll be having that every single day. Like I said before, I was eating keto puddings, and some days that's all I ate all day. I can't go back to that. I cannot do keto. You need to do something you can keep and are happy. Carnivore is more for those who truly enjoy it, for people that have severe allergies. What exactly are you eating on a daily basis? So I told her. Oh no, I said, I'm fully on board with carnivore. I cannot eat anything else without being adversely affected in some way or another. I just need to stop looking for other foods that don't affect me, stay on plan, and change my way of thinking. And then I get the reply. Are you really though? It doesn't seem like so by your video. And then goes on to promote herself as a nutritionist, and maybe I could get in touch with her. Free of charge, I believe. I just need practice. I think maybe I'll stick with somebody who's had a bit of practice. I don't mean that meanly or anything, but if you're going to try and change your way of life, you're not going to be asking somebody who's only just qualified in how to change your life. Everything they've read, I could read. You need somebody with some experience. So that also is not going to happen. Loads of people saying about having my hormones tested. It's really difficult to get a doctor's appointment. I'm at work at the time that we are allotted to make an appointment. So that would mean me trying to do my work and holding my phone, waiting for waiting to get through to the doctors. Or yeah, I guess I could go online. I really need to do it. I need to get my hormones tested, and I need to get my bloods tested. But at the moment, I'm not entirely sure that the hormones is the problem, because now I've stopped eating everything that I shouldn't be eating. I'm losing weight. So I might just stick with that for a while. But I do need to get my bloods tested, I think, just to see how I'm getting on. Oh, this is awesome. Track your calories and stick to lean meats. Okay. It would be preferable for health long term to include plenty of fruits, vegetables, tubers, whatever the frick they are, nuts and seeds in your diet. But if just eating meat is easier for you, do that to lose the weight. I'm already there. All of this I already know. This was an absolute belter, actually. Y'all clickbait titles really frustrate me. I was like, oh no, I finally ran across a person it didn't work for. This is day one for me. And I'm like, it's not a clickbait title. Every word of it was true. Why are you searching for someone it hasn't worked for? He didn't get back to me. Well, another new one that's just come in, quite scathing actually. You are adorable and should get into stand-up comedy. I honestly think a carnivore diet sounds like the most stupid thing in the world. Even if you have commenced a meat diet and lost weight in the beginning, after 8 dreary months, you are finding it not sustainable. It must be outright boring. stinky breath and sweat. I don't remember mentioning stinky breath and sweat, but God, I hope I don't get hated and shamed for not liking your meat diet. After 8 months and a plateau, I am not educated in diet word jargon, or diets apparently. But I imagine that no matter if you consume beef cheek until cow come home and bacon bits in between, it is likely you are consuming too many calories or joules. It might not matter what you call it, carnivore, vegetarian, sugar addict. If you eat too much, even a steady amount, you will not lose any more weight. Why don't you go back to a natural whole food, unprocessed diet and a fast that you enjoyed? I don't like fasting, but most people do. The meat diet sounds like a fad to me that has worked for you for a while, but has run its course. Again, didn't understand the video. The meat diet was always working for me. I didn't hit a plateau because of the meat diet. I hit a plateau because I added shit into the meat diet. Is anybody listening? Oh yeah, a few people have said about sprinting. I did try it a couple of days, but I'm not very good at keeping things up. And I was quite a bit heavier then as well. I don't like to do it when people are watching, when anybody could see me. So I was doing it very late at night in the winter, so that if anyone did see me, they might not recognise me. Or on a weekend, very early in the morning. I mean, when it was dark, I wasn't doing it in daylight. So I'm not really in a position around where I live to go out and sprint for a while, then have a little walk, then sprint for a while without all my neighbours knowing what I'm doing and thinking I'm a complete loon. And I don't need any help for people to think that I'm a complete loon. So I've stopped doing that. Really, I'm going to try and get into the weights. I'll show you what I've been doing about that recently. I'm still not sure I'm going to get 100% on board with it, even though I know I have to. So yeah, some very helpful people, some people that have been giving me a huge amount of encouragement. George, good enough. You're one of them. You're good enough for me. I do hope the people next door can't hear me talking. They'll think I don't care what they think. So yeah, got to go inside and try on those zebra skin jeans. This is a very weird camera angle because it makes it look like I've got a massive thigh, and I don't have massive thighs anymore. Look, they're not massive. They're quite small. This is still quite massive. I think that's my main bone of contention. Even the boobs have shrunk quite considerably, which I'm really pleased about. But the old belly's gonna get you. Still there. I still can't see my lady parts when I'm standing up. However, when I lie down, I actually have a flat stomach, which I haven't had for, well, since I started menopause about 4 years ago. So I'm quite pleased about that. But unfortunately, I can't lie down everywhere I go unless I get somebody to wheel me around on a hospital gurney. Actually, that sounds quite tempting. Okay, guys, here we are. Let's see if 2 pounds has made any difference. I'm not holding out much hope. Well, I don't feel as though they're quite as tight as they were last week, but yeah, they're not stretchy, by the way, which is quite good, because I think non-stretchy holds you in a bit better, but they look fine, but they're going up my snatch quite a bit. I think another couple of weeks, because the snatch action isn't any good for me. See you later. Okay, it's time for Rate My Plate. I worked out how much protein I needed before I put my plate out, instead of working out how much I'd eaten. So that's 300 grams of roast beef, 170 grams of cod, 100 grams of king prawns, and yeah, I know, I've got I've got half a slice of black pudding, which is cut up into little slices, and that's about 30 grams, which gives me a little bit of carbs, but hey, I really like black pudding, so stuff it, I'm having it. So the video's extremely late this week because I haven't been asked to come out here and video the little bit about how I'm going to be doing exercise. So here's what's happened. This bench here used to be in my shed, and this is what used to be where the bench was. This is what used to be where the bench was. Now on this I can do all the weights that I want. It's just a bit of fannying around, taking things off and putting things back on again. But I haven't been doing it because this shed is a real hot house. It's quite nice today. I might do some in a minute. But anyway, that's what I've planned for my working out. And I've got some free weights as well up in my bedroom, which I will gradually bring down here to put in this room. So that's it. That's what I'm going to be doing. Hopefully I will start doing it at some point, because I'm not really a getting round to things sort of person. Oh, hello, you can see me without reflections in my eyes. Yeah, I'm not really a getting round to it sort of person. So I did get round to swapping everything around. All I have to do now is get round to doing some flipping exercise.